again with the ABCs of horticulture, and with the abrupt change in weather, especially here in the Intermountain West with this really early winter conditions, I thought what a great time to talk about hardiness zones. So for this ABCs of horticulture, I here now dub this episode H is for hardiness. Just like us humans that acclimate ourselves to the Alaska tundra or the humid tropics of Hawaii, or even the Mojave Desert of the southwest. Plants too can acclimate, however their genetic makeup can take centuries to create the adaptation we humans can do in just a few short days. As we study plants, we have learned that they have a specific temperature ranges that they can acclimate to. Basic laboratory testing can determine the lowest sustained temperature a particular plant can withstand. But as gardeners, we still need to know how these measurements relate to and around our homes. It is usually limited to discussions of climate adversity, thus a plant's ability to tolerate cold, heat, drought, flood, or wind are typically considered measurements of hardiness. The United States Department of Agriculture has even made a standard plant hardiness rating system. And this gives gardeners a simple reference list of the type of plants that should generally survive in whether it's that cold of a climate or that heat index of that climate. And just to be as annoying as possible to all my friends up north, I thought I'd come out here in my 83-degree weather and show you just how easy it is to look up USDA GIS interactive maps online. The USDA map, which was last updated and released in 2012, and you can find it online as a GIS interactive experience and really pinpoint where you're at. You know, this USDA map is generally considered the standard measurement of plant hardiness. However, it only takes into consideration the minimum lowest temperature. Other plant zone maps, like Sunset Zones. Sunset Zones comes out of the West Coast, and these are based on the minimum, maximum, or mean temperature, rainfall, humidity, and the length of the growing season. And when it comes down to it, when you start talking about all these different elements that plants have to deal with, I have to deal with it as well. And when I go outside and the wind chill is supposed to be 20 degrees lower than what the actual temperature is, I can feel it. I don't know why the plants wouldn't. And then, going even further, even take this into consideration. Las Vegas, Nevada, Zone 8. Portland, Oregon, Zone 8. There's a little bit of different climatic conditions for plant material in those two areas. The plant lists are going to be completely different. Some plants will say Zone 6 to 9 or 6 to 10. And so if you're in the middle of that range, that's great. But if you're kind of in one of these really cold climates, and that's the thing with gardeners, is we love to plant things right on the fringes. And I think it might work. It's a Zone 5 and I live in a Zone 4, so I'm going to give it a try. But usually, it may die back every year. Maybe it comes back from the roots every year. Something like butterfly bush is a really good example of something that's going to, in certain locales and certain climates, it almost acts as a perennial. We plant it almost as a perennial because it dies back to the ground every year. But remember, zones are only a guide. So with a grain of salt, the zones are a good starting point. But you still need to determine for yourself what will and won't work in your yard. Thank you for watching the ABCs of horticulture. If you liked the video, subscribe and share it with your friends. And we'll see you next time.